so much.
Got it.
Everything about what? Oh, tonight, 2021's in that as we do a relevant movie, The Suicide Squad.
This movie's relevant.
Relevant movie. This movie's relevant. And the Harley Quinn verse.
Dune. We did Dune a while ago. Another movie with David Dastmalchian. But
compare this movie to Dune, other than the actor crossover.
The year it came out.
Just saying.
Okay.
It's recent.
So stop slouching and pay attention and click that subscribe button and get ready for a roller coaster ride of your mother. Joe, rate and grade this movie.
Should come to me last.
Nope. First this time. You're the most likely to have a bad opinion.
After the epic goodness that has been the MCU, I found these movies to be refreshing. So this movie's actually...
Wait.
Did you say
stop in your tracks? Movies? Everybody stop the show. It's the best way to get people to continue to listen, I hear. But you say these movies.
Yeah, you said more than one. Are you saying
DC movies in general, or are you talking about the 2 Suicide Squad films that have come out thus far?
I would say that the 2 Suicide Squad films that have come out thus far were a nice cheeky change in pace of they're a little bit more comic booky. You know, the thing with the MCU is they were comic books. But they were comic books that we all grew up on and we all took them very seriously. But the comic books all maintained a tongue in cheek that you don't see as much in the newer ones. Although I haven't seen the new Spider-Man. Regardless,
it's pretty good.
It's a B+. It's a fun movie. I've actually seen this movie multiple times.
Oh, okay. Nice.
This was probably the 3rd time. I actually own both versions of this movie.
Really?
I do. Yeah, the other ones, they each have their own things.
You've never mentioned it, and I don't want to give it away, but yeah, I chose this movie for a reason. Now, not everything Joe just said is wrong, but Russ, can you explain why the first Suicide Squad movie is a pile of dog shit compared to this movie, and also give us a rating?
I mean, the Joker in it is just so stupid, so stupid. I mean, and we've actually talked about this before. Joe really likes him, so I hate to just always disagree with Joe. But I don't know. It was nothing about it really stood out. It was like a more typical current day DC movie where it's got like some cool special effects and some characters, like the flaming guy when he fights the thing and shoots all the fire at it, like cool special effects. And Will Smith.
Dude, it's all about the TDK. Guy. It's all about the TDK.
Oh, Jesus Christ. Dude.
Yeah, it's just, it wasn't very good. And I think what made this movie so good in comparison was the comedy. It wasn't about the special effects. The plot was pretty lame. And
the special effects, though, dude. I mean, a shark rips a guy in half.
They were good. They were good special effects, but it wasn't about the action either, which I feel like the first one tried to be more like that with some comedy mixed in. And this movie was
really
like
great action sequences, though, dude. The whole assault on the rebel camp is so well done,
dude. And Harley Quinn's little interlude with the friggin' dictator.
These are
is
not
genius.
Hostile. These are not hostile forces, and they are just walking through camp instead of saying, "Hey, we're here, we're your buddies." No, they kill everybody.
Dude, I love how the peacemaker is on the roof and he's like blow darting everybody, and then he comes down off the roof, and the other guy's got people lit on fire from his flamethrower. It's like, wait.
Yeah,
how did the timing work on all that? Like
that guy walks out sipping his coffee after he just heard his comrade screaming because he's on fire.
Yeah,
like he didn't
there's
hear
no
anything.
way the first dude that the shark eats.
Yeah.
Is it, anyway, what's your rating?
Wait, did you catch the gratuitous male frontal nudity in that scene?
Oh, yeah, when the
the guy
coffee
comes
guy.
out with the coffee guy. Yeah,
I only caught it the third time.
I only saw it this time. I was like,
Yeah.
wait,
I
that
did
was
not
his-
catch it.
That was his dick.
Yeah. As he falls back. Yeah.
I'm gonna go with Joe. Give it a B plus.
Yeah.
I think maybe even an A minus. Like it, I went into this movie thinking it was going to be pretty bad, honestly, and that it'd be like a topical, funny thing that we would talk about, and that would be why we watched it.
Mhm.
But it blew me away. Far exceeded my expectations. I laughed from start to finish.
The movie's very built very well. But
For
before I talk too much more, what's Ben think?
Oh, now here we go. Get ready to lose viewers. Yeah, I chose this movie because just like Russ said, I didn't expect much when I started it. And I was like, I was blown away.
Is this
feel
your
like,
first time watching it?
I watched it for the first time probably a week to two ago.
Oh, okay.
Yes. And so I didn't expect much. And then I actually watched it in a couple of installments. And at first, the beginning, I was like, all right, that's a funny thing. But I didn't even make it past everybody dying on the beach. So when I started it again and it switched to the second team, I was like, what did I miss? So I started it and sat down and watched the whole movie. And I'm like, dude, the fact that the first one's called Suicide Squad and this one's called The Suicide Squad, it's shot like a comic. It's shot like a one shot, which is exactly what it is. It's got just a few characters that weave in and out between the two. It's a comic made into a movie, but it's not a specific comic like the Infinity Gauntlet series. It's, I want to write a comic issue, but I'm going to write it on the screen. And James Gunn does it. And he really tries to stay true to the original creator of the Suicide Squad, who wanted a group of B and C and D. Fucking Weasel and TDK are like the dumbest.
Javelin, dude. Javelin's the
Javelin.
best. I love Javelin.
I love
My
when he finally
favorite.
stands up to fight and gets shot. It's like, oh yeah, you got a javelin, bro. Yeah. It blew me away. And I thought it was done really smart. There are a couple of things that take it down, but I would give this movie overall an A. This feel
was a
like
3
breaks a curse for the DC movies almost. Like
did.
James Gunn
Yes.
going over from Guardians of the Galaxy and giving them a little love is gonna bring the DC to be like, oh, we make comic book movies where we've got characters called Arms Fall Off Boy, and we're gonna put that in as TDK, the dumbest fucking character you can ever imagine trying to be a
Dude, and when he
superhero.
manifested his power, it was so good. It was
Dude,
so
when he
good.
starts just slapping him, and you realize like he's
Dude, and
gonna
how
do
long it
absolute-
even takes for his arms to float across to make the
He
advance.
doesn't even choke a guy. He just starts slapping.
Yeah, no,
Dude,
too
it's
good. It was
he
too
goes
good.
up and he's like slightly pushing the gun a little bit, hitting him on the side of the face, and they're like, stop it.
Yeah, I'm telling you. And Harley Quinn
And
right then.
he's in the
He's
back, like just
What
moving
the
his shoulders.
fuck? And Flag's got, I didn't pick the team. Yeah, the fact that she sent in Flag with Suicide Squad, there's two spoilers. This show's gonna have spoilers. There's two squads. You start out with they're choosing this squad of absolute dog shit.
And now, which one came
Right.
out first? The first Suicide Squad, right? Like Suicide Squad was first, and then this one came out.
Yes, which I could not be happier that things didn't work out for Will Smith. No shade to Will Smith, but him not being in this movie made this movie so much better.
Now, would this movie
It's
have
true.
been better without the first one? Because I don't think this movie would have
No,
been as good without the first
absolutely
one.
not.
The first one had to set the groundwork.
Dude, issue
They-
2
it-
in a lot of cases, especially something like this where you're like it barely even touches on issue 1. It's got 3 characters that
Mhm.
cross
This-
over. That's
the-
it.
The thing that I think number one did for this movie is it eliminated 15 minutes of explaining what a Suicide Squad is.
Right.
Like the beginning of this movie, they barely even touch on it. It's like, you know the drill, 10 years off your sentence. And you're like, oh yeah, they explained it in the last movie. They put the bomb in your, okay.
Right.
Exactly my
and-
point. Like without the previous movie, they'd have had to lay that groundwork too, and then it's too serious.
Yeah, this movie was
And then it's
just
too
I think
serious.
that's what the
Just
first
fun.
movie and the first director said how much he was not in control of it. And I think that's one of the things is the studio really tried to make number one into like this, a comic movie.
Well, it's
Instead
like the way these movies played out in relation to a comic book production would have been like number one would have been a one-off, a legit one-issue comic.
Yep. And it would have been
And then-
popular enough that they were like, let's make another money grab.
Number
But
two
then
would have
they
come
got
out and
artists who
been
give a
like
shit.
right, and it'd have been like a 6 or a 10 issue run on this little squad, right?
Yep.
Yeah, no, I really enjoyed it.
Yeah. Great movie. And so James Gunn, I think let's go with the wad, man. This show is all wad. We're getting all the wad out. Writer and director. We'll talk about the actors later. Look how nervous Russ is to do anything. Dude, so James Gunn writes and directs this. James Gunn, I feel like, is so lucky to be a bit crazy and graphic and be given the license to move that into film. What his first movie that got major acclaim was Slither, which not a huge one, but Russ knows Slither.
Yeah, that movie is same, little more dark on the humor, but kind of you can tell same guy did it.
Yeah. And it's got Michael Rooker and Nathan Fillion, which will be a common reoccurring theme throughout a lot of his movies. Next one, Super, with Office alum Rainn Wilson. How many people have seen Super?
I have. You told me so many times. I finally made myself watch it twice,
And
and
it's
I
just
still.
it's so odd. There's a tentacle ripping open your head scene.
Oh no, I haven't seen Super. I've seen
Shut Up Crime. You've never seen Shut Up Crime with Rainn Wilson?
Yeah.
No.
Kevin Bacon is the bad guy. Liv Tyler is his ex, who Kevin Bacon is keeping on heroin.
I already said no.
Well, let me tell
you just saw the movie. Skip
this
it.
guy fucking takes a plumbing wrench. He decides to dress up as a superhero, takes a plumbing wrench, and he's literally ruining people's lives by taking pieces of their heads off. If they live through the violence that's inflicted on them, it is so awful. And then Ellen Page, who is now Elliot Page, get with the times, guys.
Right.
Now Elliot Page rapes Rainn Wilson in a scene because they're costumed heroes. It is fucking bonkers, but it really made you take notice. And then this guy gets the gig to do Guardians of the Galaxy, and kaboom, right? Infuses the music. Think of how big Guardians of the Galaxy was for the music. Just like this movie, the soundtrack, pretty solid. I would say the highlights, playing Jim Carroll. Those are people who died over Everybody Dead on the Beach.
And Guardians of the Galaxy saved the MCU.
They definitely, what he saved. RDJ never let that shit fall. Chris Hemsworth did a fine job.
This is a total aside, but I'm not going to let that stand uncommented. MCU was getting way too serious, and Guardians of the Galaxy came in and gave it that levity back that it needed.
I would 100% agree. It allowed the door to remain open for Ragnarok to.
Oh, absolutely. The shit that Chris Hemsworth did with Thor, and
Taika Waititi, who is Ratcatcher 1 in this movie in the flashback,
right.
He's responsible for Ragnarok. So it really shows you what a great sense of humor will bring to comics. Like, you really love it. Russ has nothing to say. He gets fired. He's doing Guardians of the Galaxy 3, gets fired because they dig up old Twitter jokes. And DC is like, why don't you come do this one? He immediately does it, starts to write it.
We don't care about
a
Twitter
petition
jokes.
and they tell Disney, rehire him or else. And Disney pulls his stick out and gives him another chance.
Nice.
Yeah.
I'm
James
excited
Gunn,
to see Guardians 3.
Really, he was once married to Jenna Fisher, another Office connection. I feel like Jenna Fisher probably thought she was Hollywood at one point, married this dude, and realized that she's just a regular St. Louis lady, and went with a much different guy.
She is. I mean, she even plays that character that she is in The Office. She's just like the most outrageous thing she ever did was walk hard, and she was awesome at it, and she should have kept going. But then she was just like, "No, I'll be Jenna Fisher."
Coming soon on Covered in Film, Walk Hard for sure.
These
Cannot
boots
wait to
are
discuss
made
that
for
movie.
walking.
Yeah, no,
That song's
anyway.
not in that.
Anyway,
No.
not in there. Not in there.
Oh, that was good.
So
That was
really,
good.
yeah, love James Gunn, and then this movie has so many fun things he brings into it. Number one, it starts with Michael Rooker, who he has a whole thing about seeing Henry, Portrait of a Serial Killer. Do you remember that movie, Russ? You worked at Blockbuster, so
God, that was a long
you
time
may
ago.
remember it. It's an older one.
I've
Michael
seen it.
Rooker plays a serial killer in it. James Gunn saw it in the theater and felt like the movie took a piece of him. It was so dark.
Wow.
And he still felt like empathy for Rooker's character. And so as he gets into the business, he gets a chance to work with this guy. And I mean, Rooker's in Guardians of the Galaxy, starts out with him in Slither. He's obviously an important dude in his life that he wants in his movies. Long time wish list for this show. Sylvester Stallone provides a voice credit in this movie. Finally,
Dude,
he gets his due.
It's like they made the character for him almost. Like they said,
He did.
"Hey, you know that voice that everyone makes fun of you for having? Let's make it even more dumb." And you still want to play it? Like, do you want us to make fun of you in this movie and attach your name to it? He's like, "Hell yeah, I do."
Monster nom noms.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know why he could have just said Monster Adrian, and then it would have been the perfect lead in for Adrian.
Can't do it.
Hungry.
When they shoot him like 20 times and then yell at him, and his response is like, he's so genuine, and he points and he just goes, "Hungry."
Right.
Like,
I mean,
how can you
who's
not understand?
Who's the real hero of this movie, right? I mean, it's Sharkman.
No, I mean, do we really? I feel like it's early to get into that. James Gunn definitely made Ratcatcher 2 the heart of it. Harley Quinn has a giant role in different periods of it.
Dude, I
Who wins it?
love out of all the iterations of Harley Quinn, this is the one movie I love her the most in.
It was only this most recent watch that I realized her first line in the movie is, "Sorry, I'm late. I had a number 2."
Dude, the whole scene that she's got with the dictator, like the whole little interlude, her busting
That's
out.
so great.
And she jumps in the taxi with the javelin
Yeah.
and then sees them walking across. What do you guys do? Oh, you were coming to say I could go back inside.
Yeah, what are we doing now? I'm waiting for God to tell me. I'm like, this movie has really great lines. It has these great one-line quick. The Thinker was one of my favorite characters.
Oh God, that guy is great.
Dude, and
Perfect
he's like,
casting
"Oh,
for that
controlling
role, too."
rats. I'm trying something similar with humans." I don't know why, but that's really funny to me. The nonchalant way he says it. And then, "Do you want a rat crawling up your ass? You might.
You might be we might be surprised by my answer.
Yeah. He's so fucking funny. His body mannerism. Oh, dude, I love that guy in this. He was a Doctor Who. He was one of the doctors.
Yeah, no, but they couldn't have had a better casting for that role. Like, I think that was
It
part
was-
of what really made this movie was the excellent casting. Like
Agreed.
every person that came with the role was like John Cena for Peacemaker.
John Cena.
Let's get it. John Cena. How many times have you watched the YouTube video that's just the lady?
the
getting
South
pumped?
Park episode.
Oh, dude. He is really good at this.
John Cena.
He was so good. James Gunn said he was one of the best improvisers he's ever worked with. The whole tidy whities, that's just racist. that's an improv line.
Dude,
that's
that
not
was
in the
so
script.
good. No,
John
it's
Cena just says it.
racist.
And the way he catches it, like the camera pans up to his face to be hella serious. Dude, that's a piece of movie magic. Yeah, John Cena really shows some shit. Was so good that James Gunn was like, I'm going to make a spinoff on HBO for your character alone.
I haven't watched it yet, and I'm
Me
excited
neither.
to watch it. I'm
Yeah,
actually
now that I've watched
excited to
this,
watch it.
I agree.
I've been looking
also
forward
wanna
to
see
it for a couple of weeks because I remembered him from
Yeah.
this movie.
I
And
had Gabe watched it, and I had to ask him. I'm like, is it a prequel, or does it come after this one? I got to know what they do. I won't spoil it for you.
that's funny.
My favorite scene with him in it is when they're trying to infiltrate that bar, and he's already got the tucked in shirt into jean shorts.
Right.
Oh,
Which
dude,
they
he's
did on purpose.
The
the
total
jean shorts.
dad bod, dude. He's got all
Total
of the
just
dad.
dork. And when the music is playing and they're all dancing, and he's doing like the high five dance almost. It's so
by himself.
Isn't he wearing
great.
Birkenstocks with socks?
Yeah,
I don't think
he's-
so. Is he?
Yes,
I think he is. Yeah. Yeah, he blew it out of the water for me. He was like, Idris Elba is great, and I like him as the main.
He's decent.
Peacemaker
I really love it.
is
Yeah.
better.
And his whole dude, when he goes in, when they're coming out of the cloud and they do their assault on the actual Jotunheim, and he's got that fucking Roman fucking whatever gladius or whatever that sword is called, dude. And he's cutting off a third of the guy at a time as he comes through. You realize, dude, that dude with the sword would be pretty powerful force, just fucking carving.
He's really
shit up.
strong.
Yes.
It's not a toilet
John
seat.
Cena strong.
It's not a toilet seat.
Okay,
Beacon
so wait,
of freedom.
with you talking in that John Cena strong, reminded me of King Shark again. Have you guys actually seen King Shark in the Flash TV series?
No.
I have not.
So different.
I
I feel like they actually captured who King Shark is supposed to be in that show, and he's like a genius and menacing and really powerful and everything and scary. And then they switch over to this one, and it's Sylvester Stallone in like swimming trunks, just being a dumbass. It's so different. It couldn't be more different. You have to watch it though. He's a really badass villain in the show.
Yeah.
I would argue though that one of the best scenes, one of the best comic book-esque scenes that really captured the flavor of this entire movie for me
What you got?
was the cut scene of Sharkman ripping that dude in half.
Yeah.
And the way
yeah,
they
and it
framed
slows
it
down.
and the flash and just everything,
sure.
and it just blah.
The
Dude, I was like,
transitions.
oh,
Yeah.
that's fucking sick.
Hella sick. And James Gunn has in the trivia talks about how he used so much special effects on Guardians of the Galaxy. He tried to use practical effects. And Steve Agee, who plays the agent who works for Viola Davis with the glasses, who's like, I'm so good at my fucking job. He stood in for King Shark during the film, walking around with the guys and doing it. And they literally had a dummy for him to rip apart in order to overlay. Yeah.
Not
Pretty
Sylvester Stallone, the guy who's actually strong.
He's just the voice. Well, he's also old. Osteoporosis.
Yeah.
You ain't
Who
lying.
knows how much milk he's drank? Okay,
Escape number 4 in theaters soon.
that's right.
Him and the ex-governor.
Is that? Or you mean Expendables? Is that an actual thing? I hope
No,
not.
Escape. They're both in the Expendables too.
Escape.
Should we talk a little bit more about Nathan Fillion?
Yeah, we can
Absolutely.
do that.
Yeah. In a lot of James Gunn's roles, personal favorite, Mal. He's a golden boy.
Always.
I mean, we talked about him a lot when we did Serenity, but
Right.
the way he dies in this movie, I couldn't let us not talk about that. How they're just shooting his arms until he dies from pain or whatever. Like, And then he's like off in the distance and his arms are getting shot and you just see him going like, ah. That's so great.
Yeah, his character was funny. I thought it was funny that he's such a small role. He loves those things. He's such like an insider's actor. My favorite story for Nathan Fillion is that he saved the pictures of the blueprints for Serenity on his phone from their first meeting when they were making Firefly. And after Fox got rid of all their shit for the movie, he was the guy who was like, oh, we don't have the blueprints? I do. And busted that shit out.
Nice.
Yeah, no, he's a national treasure.
He's a national treasure.
Treasures.
Just for that,
Pete Davidson is the douchebag who sells out the team. Saturday Night Live. I liked King of Staten Island. I don't think we've done it on the show yet. You guys watched that movie though, right?
No.
King of Staten Island?
No, I don't think so.
Good. Not bad. He's good in it. He's now dating Kim Kardashian after the divorce from Kanye West, who now wears a mask in public. Dude, I'm like, enough with this guy. I'm sorry. It's official. Pete Davidson, knock it off.
You heard it here first, folks.
I mean, if you're Pete Davidson, are you going to listen to Kim Kardashian or Ben Hansen?
Oh, Kim Kardashian. Yeah, no, fuck Ben.
Who's Kim Kardashian?
Right. Who else in the beginning? So you got Michael Rooker, who gets the most lackluster death by having them just trigger his brain.
I was so disappointed. Like that, that was the part I wanted to talk about with Michael Rooker. Like when they had the opening scene and they did the whole intro and all that stuff. The first time I watched it, I was really disappointed.
Right.
Like that actually turned me off on the movie a little bit.
Yeah.
Second time I watched it, I saw a little bit more. Third time I watched it, I was like, this is the only motherfucker that is standing there that's got any kind of sanity in his head.
The whole movie when they're
and
fucking
he's
with
like,
him in the plane and he's just
like, nope, nope, blow me up. I ain't going up there. Fuck you. I'm going to ride this car door until that.
The little bird boomerang,
I just want to throw it in there before we move on. The Michael Rooker little bird switch around. He kills the bird in his cell first.
The bird eats him.
And then the bird eats him. Yeah.
Dude, the whole Jim Carroll, those are people who died over everybody who died on the beach as they do the actual credits and get the movie rolling is a phenomenally realized.
So good.
Dude, it's as good as Scott Pilgrim's credit sequence.
There's another one that we did that had the same opening sequence like that, and I can't remember what it was. It wasn't Scott Pilgrim.
The Patriot.
No. Fucking Ben. Fucking
go ahead and
Monty
push this button up here and watch The Patriot, one of our originals. We had a lot of fun recording it.
Russ was passionate. He's very patriotic.
I was
patriotic.
I mean, come on, there's not a movie that's more patriotic than The Patriot.
Find out.
I dare you.
Click this link. Tell us what you think about how patriotic the Patriot is.
Wait a minute. Wait. Grind it to a halt. What do you got, Russ?
Before we just forget to mention him, I mean, Weasel.
Dude,
come on.
Did anybody watch it to the end of the credits?
Yes.
Where he comes back?
I only read. I didn't watch it, but he wakes up and he runs into the jungle.
Yep.
Yeah,
dude. I only read this last time that he says he ate 27 children.
Yeah, he ate 27 children. It's dangerous.
Chupacabra.
What kind of dog do you think he is?
Dude, Nathan Fillion has a great line right there. Whatever breed he says, the fact that he's throwing something out there, hella funny.
Dude, when he jumps in the water. Oh my God.
Did anybody look to see if Weasel knew how to swim?
He's just screaming. His whole thing is just all right. And he just drowns and it goes on and on and on until he dies.
We're gonna chew up some A right here, and we're really gonna get into the actors of this film before we move on to the film itself, which has some wonderful moments to talk about. But let's hit on everybody real quick. Viola Davis is, what the fuck is she doing in this movie? Like, this must be such a throwaway fun time for her to be the director of this fucking crooked organization that's threatening these guys. Dude, she's such an amazing actress. If you've never seen Fences, Jesus Christ, that movie really is great.
And isn't she in The Shield?
No, that's CCH
Oh
Pounder.
no,
bro.
you're right. My
Come
bad. My
on,
bad.
we've
No,
already
that was-
done this on the
I know.
show.
No,
Don't
that
fuck
was a
with the
rookie
pound.
move. My bad.
Oh, Joe, I
My
think
bad.
you did it last time too,
My
with
bad.
her.
Yes, nah.
Come on.
I have done it before. My bad.
With
Anyways,
her.
continue.
Continue.
Pound on, sir.
Who else do we got? So we talked about John Cena. Everybody loves him in this. He's great in this fucking movie. Idris Elba, his counterpoint. Just, I mean, every time I see him, I think Charles Minor. That's who he is to me. That's who I want him to be.
That's who he
Attaboy
is.
Steel. Do you know what happens if you put paper in fire? You ruin it.
He always has a beard after The Office, I feel.
Yep.
And so he doesn't look like him anymore.
The exchange they have, it's like a meme now. It's a meme before I even watched the movie. But when he shoots the guy, non-lethal wound, he's like compression bullets, and he blows up. And nobody likes to show off. That's what they're showing off is dope as fuck.
Right.
Shit,
And he's
that's
like,
true. Dude,
You're
him
right.
delivering that shit that's true line, really good. Like I would have laughed a lot at that.
When he does it too, it's like he's one of the only characters in the movie that's actually serious and stuff. So
I love that.
couple odd moments where he actually goes like, "Oh, it's true." It makes it even more funny.
I love the smaller bullets tie-in from the beginning to the end. That was pretty good.
End, yeah.
And the way they set the scene between him and his daughter. And
Right.
he's just like,
you.
why the fuck did you get
Fuck
caught?
you,
Yeah.
dude.
Yeah. And the whole thing.
Because
You're like,
last time I watched that, like they are cursing at each other.
Whoa, what is happening? What movie am I watching?
I love
Dude,
that
when they were doing
just
that, it
pissed
just-
about the stupid thing she stole and that she didn't bring a spotter to not get caught. I'm like, that's a good dad.
Yeah.
That's
I
a
love
good dad.
I love that she calls him out on those exact
Yeah.
things too.
Yeah.
She's like,
It's
"You're
like,
not
no,
even
he's-
mad at me for stealing, just
That's
as
right.
what I
Well,
stole."
You know,
So
And
I
getting
got
this is the world we live
caught.
in. These are the hands we're given. Whoa. That's what this movie could have used.
And
was
but
some
the whole
Genesis.
Armageddon tie-in at the end with her seeing him on the TV. Like,
That was
I'll
an
give him-
Armageddon
Armageddon
tie-in
tie-in.
to you.
I'll give him credit for that. Oh, and Armageddon. I mean, just
Did he
because you guys
die?
Asked, but
Well,
they
he's
have
not
all.
in Armageddon.
No, I'm just saying that scene.
That's racist.
Of what the fuck,
Dude,
It's like
What
seeing
Armageddon tie-in? She's
no,
not
at the
in
end of
Armageddon. He's
Armageddon.
not in Armageddon.
No, at the end of Armageddon when they've got the kid's son watching TV and
Michael
Oh,
Bay
he
didn't
saved the
direct this
planet.
movie.
never mind.
no,
Move on.
you mean when Liv Tyler
good. If you
is
get it- if-
saying goodbye to Bruce Willis?
Hey, IKYK.
And he
If you
dies?
know, you know. If you don't, you don't. So fucking move on. Let's move on already.
No, it's very different. Idris Elba did not die.
Taika Waititi again has a good little aside as Ratcatcher 1, heroin addict. Like rats are the lowest creatures on earth. If they have a purpose, everybody does. That's a genuine fucking sentiment that people should be taught.
Yeah, no,
Like-
I mean, it ties it back into the rats are the ones that freaking destroy the barring, Harley
Right.
Quinn, but
Right.
and
Right.
Javelin.
Yeah, it is-
Don't
it
forget
is a
Javelin's
but
contribution.
I really loved that bit as much as Ratcatcher 2 was not my favorite character in the movie. I loved that she's the one by summoning all the rats that just consume this thing. Sorry for the personal aside, I had written a little thing back in community college days about humans dying out and the animals end up going to war.
When you had hair,
Right. Yep. 100%. And the animals could go at it all they want, but the insects and the ants who could just swarm. And I drew it from, I once had ants pretty much covering my legs and it was fucking horrific. But dude, that concept of the swarm being what actually takes out this seemingly unstoppable force, which I kept waiting for him to fly. This is the first time we've talked about the ultimate villain, Starro the Conqueror.
Oh,
Can-
dude,
can
and
we
what
talk
a
about-
whatever the thinker's line is right there? It's a throwaway, but that's meant to be sarcastic or whatever he says. So fucking funny.
Can we just talk about Starro?
Let's
Like,
talk
as-
about Starro.
what a
the
tragic
fact-
villain.
A tragic villain. I mean, sure. But I mean, just like he's a total joke villain, even in the comics. And somebody
This
was
is
like,
no, this is the first thing that the JLA ever fight. This is
And
this is the Avengers Loki. Starro
Okay,
is
I guess-
he's flying, he's huge. Think of what he could do in a populous area, dude.
Oh, it's insane. It's aliens.
This is actually a scary fucking villain that he makes into Carl
I don't
Jr.
know, man.
emblem
Maybe-
smashing up a city.
Straight up Stay Puff Marshmallow Man up in this motherfucker.
Exactly.
like the first time when Starro first came out and you first read it, given I'm not really old, so I didn't do that.
Fuck you.
But
I swear to God.
but
All
later on, as time goes on and real villains are introduced and everything, Starro's a joke villain. People look back on him as
Somewhat.
like a big funny joke. He's a starfish who just goes around conquering, being a starfish, putting little starfishes on your face.
and you
and-
know,
They put him in this movie. I thought that was great. Nobody's talked about Starro in years.
No. they
I
haven't.
love that.
And that's again, kudos to James Gunn.
I was just about to
He's the
say, I
guy.
love that James Gunn takes all of the cheek and, joke that he has, and he has that last dying guy as he's dying lift his head up and say, I was happy floating and looking at the stars.
Mhm.
Like, he didn't want all this. We forced it on him. Like, there's some deep social commentary there.
Honestly, there is. I don't know who voiced Starro though, but first time watching this movie, obviously, like I said, I made it to the end of the beach scene and was like, wait, what new scene? What? And restarted it, and then watching it through for the first time, watching Polka Dot Man, and then reading about David Dastmalchian, who is Carl in Ant-Man. That's where he really, I think, blew up. And of course, I always remember him from Dark Knight as the Joker guy who's laughing and has Rachel Dawes as the name tag.
Right.
That pretty much sets Two-Face off. Anyway, that's the guy. Dude, he's so good in this movie. There's a really great story about him being out promoting something. He gets back to his hotel room and he's got a text from James Gunn that says, I want to put you in this movie. This is the character I want you to be. And he reads it. And so he's got this vitiligo, which is nobody else has probably looked it up, but you've seen people with it. I often see it on the hands where you'll see like a lighter skin tone, like they've Michael Jackson, for a lack of a better term, claimed he had it. But I met many people in my real life. He grew up with this stuff. He used to get called Polka Dot in his real life because of this disease when kids would ridicule, because kids are pieces of shit. And he gets offered this role. He looks it up. He reads the script until 4 a.m. And he sends James Gunn this very honest and open, like, you can't understand the
way this
context.
role speaks to me.
What you have just offered me is like such a heartwarming story for such a silly role.
So he in fact hated his mother in real life?
Oh no, but
oh
my
bad.
Oh Jesus, dude.
Oh my bad.
So tying it back into when I actually watch it all the way through, and I'm like, yeah, it's good. And then they have his little piece where I'm not expecting much out of it, but John Cena's funny. Like, you got to tell us what this shit is. What is it? And he tells him the story and then says, my mom is everywhere. And they show the group and it's all his mom.
Oh, dude, that was so good.
I was hooked. That
so
was
good.
my moment where I'm like, this movie is actually really good.
Yeah,
really good.
That
and
was
then
genius.
later on the dance scene in the bar when he's surrounded by
yes.
really
The more that they show, like, yeah.
Wait, Ben,
I
who is the
agree
mom? What
with-
was the what was the mom's act? What was the mom? Who played the mom?
I didn't write it down. It's not a
Ah.
famous lady. It's on IMDb. Look it up.
It's funny. Yeah, the dance scene.
when
And then his death scene
Lynn
is so
Lynn
bittersweet.
Ash,
Yeah.
Lynn Ash
Lynn
or
Ash.
Ashy.
Yeah. I find all
I'm
the
a
stories of him. He
motherfucking
adopted a cat.
superhero.
He adopted a cat when they were in Argentina. Like this guy he used to not work with an agent. He used to field all the shit himself and want a personal connection to any project he was on. Dude, he's the genuine fucking article. I would love to meet this guy. He sounds like a bit of a wacko, but I think he'd be fun.
So send us a message and we'll set up, like, you guys got Texas Roadhouse steaks and drinks on me, hang out with Ben.
Right. We'll do a little one-on-one. We'll talk about all your projects.
Talk about you being
Ben will give you advice.
I
I think that I've become very successful in life, and it's all because I ask Ben every other week what I should do with myself.
I mean, I'm not going to say that I've got a trainee who's just blowing the fucking doors off in another place right now, but I'm pretty good at talent. Before we go any further, let's talk about Joel Kinnaman real quick. Flag, just deserve. He was on The Killing and played this fucking great role where you could tell he could act like a motherfucker. I'm surprised we haven't seen more out of this guy.
I'm waiting.
Yeah,
he hasn't caught his vibe yet. He's been typecast. Every role he plays, he's the same guy, and he needs.
He kind of is. I feel like
him...
he plays himself in every role.
Yes,
but he was in House of Cards. He ran against.
Oh, I did not know that.
Fucking what's his name? Rape
Kevin
guy.
Spacey.
Kevin Spacey. He's been out of the loop for so long. I forgot his name because he's.
What did you call him?
Rape guy.
Oh,
but
wow.
Jesus.
He runs against him as the Republican candidate, and he's got this really cool campaign. Actually, it's fun to watch. And then right after he ends up losing in House of Cards, I think he's only on it for one season. They give him another show where he's the main character, and it's really sci-fi. I think Joe would really like it. I'm pretty sure canceled after.
I already watched it. I'm trying to freaking find the name of it right now because I wanted to bring it up.
Yeah.
But no, it's on Netflix and it's Carbon something. I want to say like carbon fiber or something
like
shit.
that.
And
something carbon.
Fiber.
Carbon's the second word.
Altered carbon.
Altered carbon.
Yeah,
and
altered
that
carbon.
Boom, we got there, guys. Way to go. Good teamwork. Good teamwork.
I actually really enjoy that guy in that TV.
It was really good.
It was really, really fucking good.
Never watched the
like
second.
He killed it. No,
it was like a dystopian future kind of thing where the people who are rich live up really
super
high in
unique
sci-fi
concept that I haven't ever seen, and they presented it ultra well, with an excellent backstory of how the dystopian future would work with that concept of eternal life. It was great. It's really, I can't recommend it highly enough. Altered Carbon.
Speaking of recommending highly enough, let's wrap it up with the last A to mention. Margot Robbie as Harley Quinn. So she's been Harley Quinn in 3 movies now. I haven't watched one of them. In this one specifically, she's good. She's good. She does that whole key trick, the key in the lock. That's her. Like there's no stunt person. She actually does that.
Did she really?
Yeah.
Oh, wow. Nice.
Yeah. She
I did not realize that.
As an actress, do you guys have a role that really you have thought there's something like for lack of a better term, the Charlize Theron has had a few where it's like, oh, she's not just, the hot blonde. She's an actual force. I find that I, Tonya, if you guys haven't seen it, Watch that.
I was gonna say
fucking
I would
movie.
need to know other roles with her in it. For me, this is the
Wow.
only role I'm really familiar with. Maybe it's
What
the
about Wolf
makeup,
of Wall Street? Have you seen Wolf of Wall Street?
right? But what role is she in that one?
He in that?
Jordan's wife.
Oh, yeah. See, that would be a case
He-
of I didn't recognize her because of the disparity between the roles.
Wow. Well, good actress, I guess, is what we're saying.
Her character in this, she does it really well, but I feel like the spotlight can't be on her enough in these kind of roles. She's almost too much of a side part.
See, and I feel like
no
they do a
matter
smart
how
choice
much
with
they
not
put the
making
camera
her-
on her, she's
Right.
only supporting.
Right. And I think that's a smart idea.
But I
especially
think
for the
that character that she plays, if it was in more of a Pirates of the Caribbean environment, she could steal the screen a bit more. She could be the female Johnny Depp rather than
Ugh,
I'm
Johnny
gonna watch
Depp.
Birds
like
of
you
Prey.
just demeaned her.
I'm gonna watch Birds
Well-
of Prey just because of her performance in this movie.
Okay, let me know how it is because I don't want to watch it.
But
the first Pirates of the Caribbean was pretty good.
I personally think that this is the best on-screen expression of Harley Quinn that I've ever seen, absence of any Joker reference. Like that was
Agreed.
what held her back in the other two iterations I've seen of her, which was the Joker movie. And
Wait, she's not in Joker
no,
that Todd
she's
Phillips did.
no,
It's
no,
just
no.
Suicide Squad and then Birds of Prey.
No, she's his girlfriend in one of the other movies.
Suicide Squad.
It's called
Right.
Suicide Squad.
No, you're right. So it is only the two movies.
Yes.
This one by far is the best representation of Harley Quinn I've ever seen, though. Like this is the first time I was like, that bitch is complex, but I could see somebody I could fall in love with that.
I personally,
Nobody's
They do the whole
surprised.
killing sequence, and she starts to sprout flowers and cartoons all around her.
Dude, the
I-
little monologue she gives him after she freaking caps his ass, like, I just have to recognize my own red flags. I was like,
I can't believe there was a bullet in this.
marry me. I was like, where have you been my whole life?
I think she's like adorable and killy, and I don't know for lack of a better term, I just said killy, but she
Yeah.
does a good job, like almost being the Harley Quinn I expect, but she doesn't remind me of Harley Quinn other than the fact that they're calling her Harley Quinn. Does that make sense? Like, and I haven't seen a good depiction of someone playing Harley Quinn other than her in real life. But when I think of Harley Quinn, I always think of that, hey, Mr. J in the cartoons.
Right.
And I think she tried the accent and she tried to be crazy and she did both of those things well, but she just didn't nail that cartoon character that I remember.
No, I think she does a good job with making the role her own. I've read that she has said she'll, for as long as she can, play this character because she loves it. I definitely feel like she's.
I'm gonna watch
you
Birds of Prey. I'll bring it up.
Have either of you watched on your own since I've said you should Once Upon a Time in Hollywood?
No,
I'm sorry.
Well, it's not.
I'm not
like
even gonna
it's
apologize.
An amazing blow your mind role, but she definitely is really good as Sharon Tate in that movie and brings a unique. She's very magnetic on screen and does a decent job in this movie. I don't think she's the most amazing part of it, but definitely great.
I think she helps ground this movie in the
Agreed.
ridiculousness. Like I think that without her little interludes and her little extra, like her little opening scene, her charge across the beach. You know what I mean? She straight up
When
the
she
first
pops
one
off
out
that
of the
missile.
trench. Yeah, she figured just
Yeah.
like, boom,
Yeah.
we're gonna get
Okay.
the party started, and
Yeah.
runs out and like they had no chance until that happened. And throughout this movie, she ends up being the heroine with the killer strike. You know what I mean? Like,
Right. Yeah. Floating in the giant jelly eye.
an underrated grounding of this movie. Like she kind of grounds the whole thing.
Again, if we're just going to recap the show so far, amazing casting, really great ideas. Let's talk about some of the scenes that really made us take notice. Do you guys have anything that you thought really kind of made the movie? I honestly, my favorite, just for King Shark, who is great as the comedic relief for a lot of it, his scene with Peacemaker where he's made the Peacemaker C4 plant. It's my favorite.
That's pretty
King
good.
Shark moment. 100%. God damn it, King Shark. Or not away. No. Peacemaker. It's actually very flattering. And then when he puts it on the wall,
And then he turns around and nobody's there.
right. Peacemaker's gone on to be the movie's second villain, the hidden villain.
I like the little scene there at the end when Peacemaker's getting ready to kill Ratcatcher 2, and the other guy has the ridiculous floor collapse sequence.
Right.
It drops into this scene. It drops
but every
into
time,
this scene.
Every time it happens, his face is like, this is so ridiculous. So it's not like you're just thinking it. It's like, we know what we're doing. And we made this guy think it was stupid too.
It is really good. It is really good.
The scene, all right, so there were the only scenes that I really laughed out loud, like truly throughout the whole house, were Polka Dot Man scenes. And I gotta hand it, the first scene where he says, "I hope we all die," is just like, I was like, okay, this movie's pretty funny.
And when they're all talking over each other after they've killed the entire village of rebel soldiers.
Yes,
everybody peters out. I pretended they were my mom and it made it easy to kill them.
That was so good. That was so good.
And he hints at his mom a couple times, and then when you finally get to see that he's actually envisioning everyone as his mom, holy shit! I almost, like, it was one of that, to me was like when Aim for the Bushes in The Other Guys. I laughed so much,
dude. The way they shot that scene, like, it was such a poignant little moment, and this heartbreaking opening, and where do you see your mom? And they cut to him, and this is like some Oscar-worthy figure everywhere. And then they cut back to the scene, and everybody at the party's his mom. It was like, I'm done with this movie. I'm fucking done with it.
Yeah. And then the mom makes the shark.
I'm done.
Every time that like his mom shows up too, I feel like this movie didn't go all out on CGI. And then when they turned Starro into his mom, I was like, oh my God.
That was so good. That was so good.
I never expected it. Every time his mom was all the characters or a character, dude, I just was like, I could not stop.
So you got the jungle and then the dance floor. And when this fucking Starro becomes his mom, God damn, that's so fucking funny, dude. And then it cuts,
and
she's still,
and when he cuts the leg off, and everybody that he's controlling grabs their leg.
Yeah,
like that's the level of comedic interlude and genius that really makes this movie work. It's like, all right, we got to do a cut scene.
This movie's an A+. This movie's an A+. I can
agree with you.
I'm going.
I'm changing it. A+.
Movie.
I will say that since Dark Knight, this is the best DC movie I think I've ever seen. Not even before Dark Knight, after Dark Knight. This movie, agree. I could give it. 100% agree. I could come up to an A+. I don't really. I don't have any issues.
Feels like a comic. I love a comic movie that feels like a comic.
And this hits on this one does it all day, every day, every scene, the whole thing.
Good. So good.
Yeah, I might have to watch it a few more times before giving it an A+. But it was, I could go anywhere. Yeah, there's nothing I didn't like.
Some of my other favorite stuff. To tie it back into covered in film lore, when Joel Kinnaman is having the freak out and he grabs the tape from the machine, like after he's clicked a bunch of shit that doesn't matter at all, and then he gets the proof he's going to take to the press, which I thought was a funny little, like, He's just God in the machine. Got it.
Oh yeah, no, dude. That scene, like he comes up and he grabs the server rack and jerks on it, and then
Yeah.
leans down and opens the kick locker, reach in there, and there's just a loose,
Yeah.
solid
Got
state
it.
drive.
They
I
do
gotta have
a
to
great
unplug
sound
it.
of it. He's pulling it out of something when they make the sound. It sounds like it's in its own docking bay, but it's really just a big open thing where he
Oh
picks
yeah,
it.
dude.
Yeah.
It's just
Really-
a Foot Locker. Got
But
that
his
from a
line
24-hour
there,
Nautilus.
they experimented on children. I can't help. Every time I watch it, I see Danny McBride. Who am I going to build ramps for now? Every time, dude, it's Hot Rod, Danny McBride. Who am I going to build ramps for now? Yeah.
That's such
Oh
a
my
such a
god.
weird specific, like
Next time
only
you
Ben
watch
Hansen.
it, you
No
won't
one
be
else
able to
will
hear
ever
anything else.
understand.
Yeah. Next time you watch, you
And that
wait
quick
see.
little trip they do at the end, another just sequencing and pacing movie that made it fun was all right, cool. Our job's done. Fuck that country. Let Starro just friggin' squash them into oblivion. We're done. We're out.
Yep.
And her own office staff clubs her into unconsciousness.
Honestly,
That was great.
That's a beautiful part to add to the movie. They could have gone a lot of ways with that. The fact that they're like, fuck you, we're going to take care of this shit.
And they just did. And then on
Dude.
top of that, to even make it like even more sweet, her on the phone with him after the fact, getting friggin' pressed, and her office staff is in the other room, like, I'm just drinking my Slurpee.
Right.
We just doing our jobs. Like that part was fucking great. And it was straight MI5 there for a half a second.
Yep.
After they clubbed her, this is your route to get there quick as possible. That shit was great.
I want to go watch it again. This is I can't recommend it highly enough. My favorite movie I've watched in a long time. My Left Foot, not discounted. I mean, come on, it's DDL, but
I mean, and it's your left foot.
I think
I'll
that'll
cramp it up
never
right
be
now.
anyone's
Shit.
favorite movie. It'll, yeah. I think I said that, but like there's something about those movies. They can't. My Left Foot will be amazing. It could be an A+ easily. Everyone would agree that it is a masterpiece. It's never going to be anyone's favorite movie. This could be somebody's favorite movie for a long time.
how did Sonia feel about it?
Yeah, what's the Sonya minute?
She didn't watch. We've been having dog issues and like other bullshit. Yeah.
That's
She did ask me
That's a
tonight.
great closer. Like, what a way to bring the energy into the end of the show, Russ. I mean,
She asked me tonight. She said, "Hey, what did you think of the movie?" And I said, "I wished you watched it because I was blown away with how good it was, and I laughed the entire time."
There we go. There's a
She's
Sonya.
gonna
Good
watch
job,
it.
Ben.
Yeah.
She's gonna
Good job,
watch
Ben.
this show, then she's gonna watch it, then she's gonna watch this show again, which is why we say thank you, Sonia, for being one of our subscribers. I really hope you are.
I don't think she is.
Oh.
She doesn't know how to subscribe.
Well, hit the little button up here.
Yeah,
There's
we're in the
subscribe.
low 70s at this
And
point.
then you
people.
can turn on the all bell thing.
2 years in,
So
low
Hey,
70 subscribers.
every time there's
Thank
a
you.
loadout.
Thank you.
Thank
Subscribe
you.
to the newsletter.
Thank you to John and Alex. You know who you are, for watching every time and
Yeah,
giving
really.
good feedback.
Honestly, yeah, John and Alex, two of our longtime watchers who give us feedback. Really do appreciate it. Joel, you probably stopped watching.
Hey,
I get it.
and for all the lurkers out there, leave a comment. Like, we
Yeah.
would love to acknowledge that
Lurk away.
you're watching us. you
Yeah,
know?
we don't know
We're here
how
for
we get
you.
above.
We're
we don't
here
know
for
how we
you.
get above 7 views. That's
Yeah.
our friend group right there. So
Right. Yeah.
whatever else is going on, let us know.